Yo, what's good, everybody? Got another Beers with Barton. It is Friday, October 27th, 2023. Crazy to think Tuesday is Halloween and next Wednesday is November. So we are basically almost done with 2023, which is crazy to think about, but it is what it is. Hopefully you got your turkeys, got your Santa hats, got everything ready to go. So pretty cool experience last night. So worst best friend, who is actually a really good guy, but he's still worst best friend. A couple months ago, found out Dave Chappelle was coming to Charlotte. I think it was a planned tour stop, maybe 1 or 2 days, maybe a Friday or Saturday, but he added a day. Anyways, found tickets for last night, Thursday. Fantastic tickets, by the way. And texted me, was like, hey, you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I love Chappelle. Chappelle show. Tickets were definitely not cheap. It's a Thursday night, but I said, yep, let's do it. Checked it off with Mrs. Beers with Barton. So last night, the night finally came, kind of snuck up on me because I forgot about it. It was so long ago. So worst best friend headed up here after work, the house, parked his truck, and then we Ubered down and met one of our other buddies at this fantastic Korean barbecue place. Holy cow, ate so much beef, so much just meat and sides and rice, and had to ask for a fork because I can barely use chopsticks. But went down there for dinner, had a great dinner, walked up to Spectrum Center, which is where the Charlotte Hornets play, the NBA team here. And it took the show started at 7:30. We probably got to the arena of the gates, like right around 7:30. It was about a 10-minute walk from our dinner. Probably took 15, 20 plus minutes to get in. And what a lot of comedians are doing, but especially Chappelle, is you can't have your phone during. So they've got this bag. You put your phone in, you got to power it off. They lock it, and they unlock it after the show. So it takes a while to get through. Did that. It was kind of weird not having a phone. There's no clocks anywhere. It's kind of like being in a casino. So we got in, grabbed a beer, got to our seats. It's probably close to 8 o'clock by the time we got to our seats. Saw another buddy that was there. Caught up with him for a few minutes, but you can't text at all. Anyways, hit our seats. I say 8 o'clock, and I'm guessing at this point. Show starts at 7:30. There's still enough. They had a DJ, crowd's cool, everything's good. But I'd probably say another 10 or 15 minutes after we got to our seats, the first comedian came out, an opener, right? So they come out, they do their thing, they're out there 10, 15 minutes, cool. 3 to 5 minute break in between. Then another one comes out. Funny, great, cool. Another couple minutes. Another one comes out. Funny, they're getting progressively better. And then the last one, so he had 4 openers, was one of his good buddies who was on the Chappelle show with him, Ashley Larry. If anyone has watched the Chappelle show will know. And he was great. So I would expect it was probably at least 9:30 probably before Chappelle came back. We sat down at 8, 15 minutes, say 10 minutes. Yeah, it was at least an hour or so. So it was probably 9:15, 9:30 before Chappelle. And he comes out, place is packed. We were sitting basically like 10 rows from, they had it on the arena floor of the stage, and they had the floor seats, and then we were in the section like the bleacher sections, you'd call them, and we were like 10 rows back. So perfect seats. He comes out, place goes absolute insane. And I got to be honest, Chappelle may be the greatest comedian of all time. He literally is phenomenal. He tells stories that are relatable, obviously cracking jokes, talks about current events, always ties it back to something personal, gets serious at times, but also always makes a joke. And it was a performance. And he's very, very, very good at telling stories. And at the end, he gave this phenomenal, like motivational almost speech about his life and how he got there. And you got to be a big dreamer, but also had jokes with it. And then at the very end, felt like he was on for a very long time. He goes, all right, I got one last story to leave you guys with. Let me tell the short story, the long story. And everyone's telling me, long story. He's like, all right, get ready. And he's a smoker, so he's on stage smoking, and he goes, I'm going to need another drink. He had one of his guys bring a drink. And then he probably talked for another 15 or 20 minutes straight, and it was like a real life story, and he connected it back, but he's telling jokes, and it was just such a cool experience to see someone who's so good at their craft. He's the GOAT of comedy. I mean, I know there's been a ton, and everyone's preference of types of comedians and how they are different. I get that, but to me, he's probably the greatest of all time, and such a cool experience. I didn't know it was a bucket list item. I'll probably never see him again. He may come back to Charlotte. He may never come back again. I mean, he's 50, just turned 50, I think, or 51. So who knows how long he'll do this, and he may never come back to Charlotte. I'm not going to drive 4.5 hours to Atlanta or fly somewhere to see him. That's not going to be something I do. So it's probably the only time I ever saw him. So it was phenomenal, cool experience. And then, we get out of he finally ends. It's crazy. It's hard to get out when everyone's stopping to get their bag that their phone's locked in open, which takes longer time. Finally get our phone. It was 11:12. So we were without our phones for probably 4 to 4.5 hours. Or I'm sorry, 3 to 3.5 hours. So anyways, walked back with our buddy who had driven in. Rode back with him because it was insanity. Ubers would have been hard, probably easy, but more expensive. So we rode with him back towards his house, which is kind of like in between my house and where he was at. And he dropped us off at a gas station at midnight almost, or like 11:45. Got the coolest Uber driver to come pick us up 15 minutes away. This older guy that just is like, hey, I kind of retired, and this is supposed to be like a gap job, and I love it. I love driving. I love driving at night. I love talking to people. He had like a History Channel on. It's just the coolest guy in the world. Talked about baseball. So when we got back to the house about 12:15, had a little nightcap, and just hung out outside for about 30, 45 minutes and enjoyed it, and crashed out. And Troy was gone before I even woke up because I think he left at like 6:30 or 7 for work. And then we enjoyed Friday. So what a cool experience. Honestly, big shout out to Worst Best Friend for getting the tickets and making the reservations for dinner and just everything planned. He's not the worst best friend anymore. As Michaela says, the Root Beer Queen says, Dad, maybe you're the worst best friend. Sounds like Troy does a lot, and she may be right. But anyways, Worst Best Friend, thanks for hooking it up. Jason, it's great to see you, man. I hadn't seen you in a while and hang out. So really enjoyed it. And tonight, Jessica and Michaela are at the T-Swift movie, Eras Tours. They went out with some friends, got dinner before. And they're at it's a 3+ hour movie, so they're only less than an hour in. So I've just been hanging out and going to keep watching Ted Lasso because we got Apple TV the other night back. And so I'm going to finish the season. So anyways, amazing experience. Chappelle show. He's got to be the greatest comedian of all time. So I'm doing Mango Cart. I know it's not Mango Cart season, but I have 2 of these left in the fridge. And I don't drink a ton of beer anymore. I'm more of a bourbon guy. I usually drink beer when I'm out, bourbon at home, unless there's something good. But got a couple left. This is a 4%er. It's Mango Cart, Golden Road. Probably used this one a few times. I would say this one is definitely a sipper. Easy drinker. Or a guzzler. I don't know. It's been a while since I've had it. But it is 4%. It's a mango wheat ale. I'm not a big wheat fan, but this is any time of the year. When I go on vacation, I grab a case of this, and you drink it on the beach. You can drink it at home in front of the fire. You can drink it while you're watching football. It doesn't matter. It is just such a good beer. Such good flavor. 4% doesn't fill you up. I really, really, really enjoy this beer. It is from LA, which is SoCal. Which is, they're not as good as Northern California. But all right, guys, girls, that's it. Dave Chappelle, the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend. Got to see him live, probably 50 feet away. Maybe 100 feet. I don't know what it was. 32.12 yards. Anyways, great experience. Ate some amazing Korean barbecue, which I don't know if I've ever had Korean barbecue before. I think I have, but I just can't. It's either been forever or I just forgot. And it's almost like they have the little hibachi grill in front of you. You order your food, you cook it yourself. You got sides and rice and salad, cheese corn. It was just such a cool experience. I think I'm still full from last night. I ate so much food that I woke up still full after eating at like 6:30 last night. So I'm not a big breakfast guy anyway, but whatever. And then picked up Michaela from the bus stop. She got an early release, and she's like, hey, can we get some lunch? I haven't eaten yet. And I was like, sure, what do you want? She's like, Chick-fil-A. I'm like, cool. Go. I'm like, I'm not even hungry. Get some nuggets, eat a couple, and I'm like, I'm still stuffed. And that's all I've had today is a couple nuggets. Like, I'm literally still full, totally worth it. So, anyways, cheers. Dave Chappelle, you're the man, dude. Mango Cart, 4%er. Cheers. Easy drinker. That's a guzzler. All right, everybody. Dave Chappelle, greatest of all time. Got to experience it live here in Charlotte. Man, such a good time. All right, everybody. Till next time.